in Ondo State. For the Ondo State Security Network, also known as Amotekun, it's no retreat, no surrender in the fight against criminals. The Amotekun has refuted a report that Herdsmen overpowered its personnel in some parts of the state. The State Commander of Amotekun, Adetunji Adeleye, described the report as untrue and a mere rumor, saying his men were on ground to protect lives and property of the people of the state, particularly during the just concluded festive season. And according to him, many criminal herdsmen have been arrested and prosecuted in court. BK, let me come to you first. This was very important. I mean, it was very important for him to react to that information, which they have now called false and true. Says no single robbery, no single kidnapping or robbery in Akoko land. What more can government do to empower our security outfits?
I think when it comes to home-sourced security initiatives, I think the Southwest has done well, especially the deceased governor of Ondo State. There is nowhere in the Southwest where Amotekun has been as successful as Ondo State. And Ondo State is one gateway to northern Nigeria. For this reason, all kinds of criminal elements, bandits, terrorists, they are trying to infiltrate the Southwest through Ondo State. And if not for the excellent work that Amotekun has been doing, honestly, things will have become so bad in the Southwest. I visited the commander of Amotekun recently. I went to their office. I saw the dozens of people that they are arrested, awaiting interrogation. And the good thing that Akeredolu, the late governor, did was to also empower Amotekun to be able to prosecute. So the state government prosecutes the people arrested by Amotekun directly. And the interesting thing is, the improved security in Ondo State has also helped the state to generate a lot more revenue. Because where people didn't have access to their farms in the past, they're able to have access to their farms and even pay their taxes. During the NBA conference, where I moderated the session on security, the Amotekun commander got a standing ovation after delivering his paper. And I think that every state in Nigeria should adopt the Amotekun model because it's delivering results. They are lightly armed, but they are able to deal decisively with the undesirable elements giving our people problems. Kidnapping has gone down drastically, and they have the courage to even go into the bush to arrest kidnappers once they get information that kidnappers struck in an area. You can't really stop them. We should expect that occasionally these guys will rear their ugly heads. But the capacity of Amotekun to respond is tremendous. And we've seen that happen. You can see that even in Oyo State, Amotekun has been able to rein in the kind of violence that the criminally minded herdsmen were known for. Remember the Gongon killings of
yes.
a couple of years back. Those things are not happening anymore. So I don't know where that story came from, that Amotekun has been overwhelmed by bandits. I know that it's a lie from the pit of hell because recently I was there to even see what they were doing, and I had the privilege of speaking with the Amotekun commander. I know that Amotekun is on ground. They are doing a good job in Ondo State, and I can tell you, if we didn't have them to stop these people from coming into the Southwest, the story would have been different. So rather than peddling lies against Amotekun, Amotekun should be encouraged. And other states in our country should realize that the central policing structure that we have cannot secure our country. So they must think out of the box, do the sort of thing that Borno State did with civilian JTF. You know, civilian JTF is now backed by law. Sometimes they go on operation even with the army. So they need to do that to complement the efforts of the armed forces. And honestly, if they can do that, our communities will be better secure.
All right, Azuko, let me come to you. Now, one of the soft or non-kinetic approach to tackling insecurity is the role of traditional rulers and the institutions, religious institutions, as well as the relationship between the security operatives and the people, the locals, the indigents, which is also part of what these Amotekun guys are appealing for. How can this be further encouraged?
Well, like the Amotekun, what they actually use when it comes to, you know, their mode of operation is intelligence. And the only set of people that can give intelligence are the citizens, you know. If what they are actually doing is more or less like the community policing. And that is what, in Lagos now, we have something called Neighborhood Watch, you know. But they have been able to carve a niche for themselves, because I've gone to Ondo State and I've seen their office before, you know, and Ondo, I know the last time I went to Akure, I saw them driving around, you know, the town and all that. But then I was even saying, why are they driving around town? They should be in the, you know, the interior and the hinterlands and all that. Well, they need the support of the people for them to be able to carry out their operations. Because if we don't give them intelligence, then they won't be able to know that, okay, XYZ characters are in a particular place, gathering in a particular place. And that is where even the traditional rulers can also help. Because if I'm the Oba or the chief of a particular place or a particular community, I know everybody that is around. I know every family member. It's not just about you having the title, but it's about knowing the people that are in your community. And so once you see a strange face, if you know that you cannot confront, that is where you can now go to Amotekun and say, I saw one man and the person does not look like our family member. So please, I want you to interrogate. And I know that they will not just go there to arrest, but they will just go there just to interrogate. And when the arrest will only come when you cannot identify yourself. And so that is where the citizens can help, you know, such groups, this kind of security agencies, you know, in quote, for them to be able to assist in, you know, reducing the insecurity in our locality. Because by the time these guys gather and we do not have, you know, the likes of Amotekun to arrest them, you know, it blossoms, it becomes bigger, you know. So we need the traditional rulers as well as even our religious leaders to pass this information to people. Because once they pass the information to people in churches and in mosques, okay, people will be able to know that security is not just for Amotekun or for police or for the military alone, but security should be for all of us. You know, I know even in Lagos, sometimes they say, we have guided our homes or our estates, but it's not enough. Because once I see somebody who is in my estate, I'll be able to say, I've not seen this face before. I will need to ask the security guard, Abi. You know, so it is the same thing with communities that are not in Lagos. And that is the only way Amotekun can become bigger and better. Because once you see somebody you can't identify, you know, you should be able to pass. So our religious leaders must also help in passing that information to, you know, their members, their worshippers, and saying, in case you see anybody that is not, or that is acting strangely, the next thing you should do is to try and get across that information to Amotekun. You can tell your pastor, you can tell your imam, you know, then they are the ones that can now tell Amotekun.
All right, Emeka, your take on this?
Well, I commend Amotekun. I really don't believe that story. And if there is one thing for which the late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu will be remembered for, is the fact that he stuck out his neck. He stood like a colossus, against criminal elements that wanted to send the people of Ondo State packing from their homeland. He fought back, and despite the efforts by certain people, in Abuja to frustrate the operations of Amotekun, he stood against them and he stood firmly. Yes, Amotekun is an interventionist agency. Where are the other security agencies? If people are saying, no, Amotekun has been overrun, where are the other security agencies? What has happened to them? Where is the military? Where is the police? Where is the DSS? Where are they? Where is the civil defense? These are agencies that are, apart from the military, the police is primarily charged with the internal security of Nigeria. Why has it not been able, why are people not calling on the Nigerian police to put down the threat of herdsmen? Now you also have the other agencies. Amotekun is actually supposed to complement, but we know that there are challenges in policing the vast, territory that Nigeria is. If you go to Ondo State, for instance, in a number of places, Governor Godwin Obaseki has been able to deploy vigilantes.
I do apologize. Can you hold your thoughts? We have a caller. Okay, we're from K2. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Well, very good, thank you. Please go ahead.
So I'm sorry, I'm enjoying your program and I actually want to contribute. Good afternoon. I'm enjoying your program and we actually want to contribute in the areas of Amotekun. And I will appreciate if I'm giving the audience.
Please go ahead.
Amotekun, if you remember, has gone to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, last month, gave a judgment that to go and face his terrorism charges. If you remember, before he was arrested in Kenya, this same Amotekun was running Radio Biafra. He castigated federal government and condemning everybody in Nigeria. Then when they arrested him in Kenya, they brought him to Nigeria. If you remember, he jumped bail. There was a senator from Abia that stood in for him for his bail. He jumped bail. And after jumping bail, he ran away. They now arrested him. So Amotekun, there has been crisis in the East before Amotekun was arrested. People saying that if Amotekun is not peace in the Southeast, it's not correct. It's not correct. If you listen to the NSAS, even during the campaign, governorship campaign, in the last election in February, Amotekun was sponsoring NSAS, telling them to go and burn.
Thank you, Mr. Okelwo. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for calling in. Emeka, let me allow you to wrap up with your
you see the point is, sometimes you just wonder what people actually want in this country. You just don't know what do we really want? What do we really want? It's, when Governor Akeredolu initiated Amotekun, there were people saying, no, don't do that. But look at what Amotekun has done. See what Governor Godwin Obaseki has done in Ondo State. And some other governors like Zulum have done, in different places. Look, you must use as many solutions, deploy as many solutions as possible to deal with crime. We have a serious problem. Even the president was saying it some days ago that yes, security agencies are winning, but they should redouble their effort. Then on the other side, you can bring in political solutions. You can bring in also, kinetic and non-kinetic solutions. But to just say, no, let's blow the whole place, because how many are you going to blow? How many are you going to blow? So all we're just looking at are alternatives to, yes, okay, you caught somebody with this. Okay, throw him into jail. At the end of the day, have you reformed the society? Have you made the society better? So I commend Amotekun and I urge them not to be discouraged by that piece of news. They should continue, but the other security agencies that are charged with keeping the nation secure should please do their jobs.